Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's Pick a Read reading. The topic for this one is what did they really mean? For the tarot portion, I'm going to use the Bonfire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. For the supportive cards or oracle cards, the Secret Language of Color cards by Ina Segal. I like both of these decks a lot. I don't think I use them together like this very often. I know I've done it before, but I think they're a very unique connection. So let's see what we get here. So what did they really mean? And I'm going to do 5 piles like I usually do. That's kind of bridging. Let's go there, and let's put you here and put that there. Okay, and I'm going to do 3 piles here for some reason. We'll do 1 from each pile. Just kind of going with it here. I usually don't do them out evenly, but seems like the thing to do today, so let's do that. Okay, so we got those over there. Let's put the appropriate messages with them. And we're gonna put this stone. I'm gonna use this big giant stone again because I just love it. That's just the truth of it. I love it. I had to put it in. And okay, so what I think we're gonna do first is the Lapis Lazuli. Second, we'll do the Rainbow Hematite. Third, we'll do the Hematite Heart. Fourth, we're going to do the Orange Citrine. Oh, I just put the stupid thing away too. I'm going to say it's Orange Citrine. Orange Citrine. Or is it Orange Calcite? Probably Orange Calcite. I have it written down. Kills me. This is Green Calcite, so I'm pretty sure that's Orange Calcite. Because these, I know they're similar. Okay. So we'll do the Green Calcite last. If I could find my little paper, actually, I will just double check that for you before we go too far. It is stuck under my thing here. Orange Calcite. Aha, it is. That's what I thought. Okay, good. Alright, so first, we're going to do the Lapis Lazuli, which is about communication. I always use this as a grounding, grounded communication, I usually think. But somebody, I want to say, said something about luck or like a wish or something like that. I thought it was really beautiful. Whatever they said. I want to say they said luck or wish, something like that. But basically, using communication in a very sensible way. I mean, there's a little cut in this stone, which probably for me being rough with it, just to be fair, but communication is the key. That's usually the thing. Now, the way I'm going to do this is them, you, something to look out for in the future, and then like the air going into it and the air coming out of it. So that's how I think they're all going to go, but we're going to find out. So you have the, this isn't bad though. I don't think that's bad. So, what did they really mean? And I'm going to try to get these better in frame. I hope that you can see this. This is white. Literally, it says white. And I know it says lighten up. And it does feel like a more, to me, it feels like a more innocent attitude going into this. Like neither of you having preconceived notions about what the other's going to do or not having an agenda either way. Like, it's like going into it, you didn't really have a goal, I would say, or something you wanted to make happen. You just were coming forward or coming towards this person, just seeing what things were being, how things were working out. Something along that lines. Just you trying to get the truth about where things stand. So when you came forward, you got the Hermit reversed, kind of like, you're looking for answers, but you're not going introspective. You're trying to get these answers from this person, and you're feeling that's the best way to do. Just because the Hermit's reversed, I don't think it's a negative thing. I just feel like they're saying, you're trying to get deep answers, but instead of introspecting, you're doing it externally. You're going to this person. Now the Justice card is over here, and it's coming over with the Lapis Lazuli, and then it's coming over to something else as the air leaves this, I'm noticing. But they're telling you the truth. Whatever answers you were looking for, you did get the truth, is what I'm getting. For some reason, you might be questioning whether they were just looking to get along, or like, did they really tell you what they were thinking and feeling? I'm getting it came quite direct. And for some people, like, this might be so raw. For some of you, this might have come across so raw that you're a little bit uncomfortable. Justice is telling me it came forward quite directly, though, what they're interested in, what the answer was. It does seem like they gave it to you. I am getting, for some of you, it came forward with kind of a joking or humorous atmosphere. And if that's what happened, I'm getting that even though it may have had a joking tone to it, it was flat out honest, flat out, like, that is exactly what they meant. Like, if there was some type of sexual innuendo is what I'm getting, like, they actually did mean that. They may have played it off as if it was a joke, kind of making something funny, but I'm getting like they actually did flat out mean that. So whatever they said, no matter what tone it came in with, if you look at it bare bones, just what they said, like if you write down what they said and just take the emotion out of it, what's literally in front of you is what they literally meant. Like, the words are true. The emotion or how it came off may be a little cloudy, but the words is what I'm getting. The words they said were exactly what they meant. Now, as things go from here, I'm getting the, as I say, azure, which is blue. It's funny, when it says protect yourself, I'm feeling more of a calm communication. I'm getting a lot of communication with the Lapis Lazuli. But I'm getting like they did tell you what they wanted. They may have played it off with a joking attitude, but they are going to look to come forward and try to get something to come forward out of this. This might be your heads up about what they want from you, or something they're realizing they want from you, and they're going to try to get it out of you. For some of you, for example, like you were having a conversation and they're like, well, I'd like to have Tuesday off, next Tuesday off, or the Super Bowl day off, whatever day that's Sunday. Maybe you work weekends and they want Sunday off, whatever. So they may have been joking about, like, it'd be really good if I could get that, but they really do want that. Whatever they said here, they are planning to come forward. I want to negotiate is popping in here. Like, they're going to bring this around again. When you first hear about it, even though it may have a joking atmosphere or you might not take it too seriously the first time, it is really something they want. And I'm getting the Two of Coins later, it means they're going to bring it back around, and they're going to try to see if they can make that happen. But I'm feeling this white again, like, it's like when you came towards them, it's kind of like highlighting that is something, like they're realizing not only do they want that, but maybe they're going to try to get it. So I don't feel like they had this so much beforehand, as after talking to you, they're like, you know what, I really would like that Sunday off. So let me see if I can make that happen, and they're going to bring it back around later, just so you have a heads up about it. And I'm like just slowing down here. I don't really think there's more with this one. I think it's very straightforward. The whole thing with where you might be questioning is this, because I feel like it might have come forward with an air of like humor, or an air where you weren't really sure, or maybe you didn't take it too seriously, but they're saying, no, if you look at the paper, if you just write these words down and look at them without emotion, you know exactly what they meant, because they're going to bring it around again. All right, we beat it to death enough. Let's let it go. All right, so that's that one. I think that one was good. It doesn't seem like that was very difficult. You know what I mean? I don't think it was painful. I don't know how you feel, but I thought that one was pretty good. The next one. Rainbow Hematite. Rainbow Hematite, I really do feel it's regaining your own self-control. When you're dealing with a situation where you feel like you're powerless, this stone is meant to bring power back to you, for you to regain your strength. The rainbow part there. Hematite is a grounding stone anyway, but the rainbow, it's getting control of someone or yourself. And if you feel like a situation has gotten out of control and you don't have control anymore, even over your own decisions, this stone is meant to be either a wake-up call or to help you do that, to bring it around, to like bring your own self-worth back, and to bring your control back to the situation. So we're going to do that. This, actually, I do want that upside down, ironically. That's the only time I've ever done those upside down, but that's them, that's you, this is forward, this is the air they're coming in with, and this is the air you're leaving with. All right, so now the gang up mentality is upside down here, and I'm noticing that Three of Cups, and this card, the Cyan, probably saying it wrong. I'm very good at saying things wrong. All right, so it says build your confidence, but that's not really what I'm feeling from it. Let me move these more in frame so you can actually see them. There we go. Not really what I'm feeling. What I'm feeling here is there's a little bit of earth feel. There's kind of like this muddy, like it's almost like a relaxed atmosphere, but it's very muddy in the sense of like people are expecting you to agree with them. People are expecting you to go along with what they want. It does feel a little muddy. It feels like a little bit of hard to move, a little stifling. Just kind of like a bunch of stubborn people deciding this is how things go, and they just don't want to move. They just don't want to open up or pull themselves out of it. They're actually comfortable in the mud. It's true that they feel stuck in it, but they're comfortable being stuck in it is kind of what I'm feeling with this. Now, that's what they're coming in with. This is the air they're coming in with. Now, you have the King of Cups. Now, regardless of your gender, don't worry about that. But you are making a very sensible, heartfelt approach. Opinion. There's an opinion. It feels the word opinion is coming in here. You're bringing something forward to these people. You're bringing forth your opinion. Very heartfelt. It does seem a tad bit on the logical side for some reason. Because I'm kind of seeing like something like written down on paper, something kind of like, this is what I feel, this is why I feel it, but there's a lot of passion behind it. There's usually a lot of emotion with the King of Cups. I'm feeling like there's still some organization here, like bringing forth a stable standing about this is why I feel this should work, and this is something I'm good at, this could actually help the situation, and you're bringing something forward. Now, I'm not feeling this energy really wanting to move. Still, I'm getting that stuck in the mud but liking it type feel here with this side. Now, when the gang up mentality is reversed, I'm questioning like if it's just a negative attitude or if it's just kind of like they're all just kind of, whoever you're dealing with, it feels like more than one person with that Three of Cups. I don't feel like they're working together, to be honest, but I just feel like they're kind of coinciding with the attitude of not wanting to make the effort to get out of the mud. In other words, they're being stubborn. It's a couple people being stubborn, pretty much about the same thing. But I don't feel like these people are working together. I just feel like they're all comfortable the way they are, and it just seems to coincide that way. So they're not really ganging up, but it does seem like it would look like that from the outside because of the way it's going. But I don't feel like these people are in cahoots that way, like we're gonna stand strong together and we're not gonna be moved. I feel like they're all on their own, independently, don't want to move and just are refusing to. The fact that they're each doing it is just making it harder for you to move anything forward or change anything here. Now, I'm seeing this plum card for you, and it gives me a very smoky feel. It says overcome your challenges, and with that smoky feel, I feel that a little bit. I'm feeling like you're not giving up is what I'm feeling. And hopefully this reading is helping you realize that this is not a gang up mentality and that, it may be a divide and conquer type situation where you just go and work on one at a time and get one moving out of the mud slowly and then work on the next one. Realizing they're not reinforcing each other might make this a lot easier. Because I'm seeing here with the rainbow hematite, is that as long as you don't feel like you have no power, as long as you feel like you have some power in this situation, as long as you feel empowered at some point, you'll be fine. If you start to feel like people are ganging up against you and that you're powerless to change things, that's where you're going to have problems and that's where you might fail. It's just realizing that these people are not working together in a collective movement. They're working independently. It's just that those movements that they're doing are, reinforcing each other, but they're not purposely doing it. In this way, as long as you realize that you can work through these challenges and just keep going forward and keep trying one at a time, slowly by slowly, I do feel you're going to make the headway you want to. It is a ways out here. I know the 7 of coins here, it doesn't seem like it's that far in this reading, but I do want to point out, I have to keep these you know, in camera frame, I feel like this card literally should be down the table a bit. The Seven of Coins will come forward. There's some work, there's some things that will come from this, but it's going to take a while to get to the spot where you can actually start working on moving things forward, getting people out of the mud, getting people to maybe either consider a different point of view. I feel like considering the point of view, somebody else's point of view, that's your starting point. Because once that starts happening, I feel like other doors open, other possibilities. There's more of a negotiation feel here, but it's one-on-one. Even though it might feel like there's a collective effort you're dealing with, you have to negotiate one-on-one as it comes forward when this finally pops in. But I do feel, again, like this is a ways down the table. I don't feel like this is coming anytime soon. It just might be one of those things where you have to have a lot of patience and just keep trying, keep slowly by slowly. And as long as you feel empowered, you'll be okay. It's just going to be a long, arduous trip. But one time, at some point, you will start moving forward. And I feel like also with the Seven of Coins, once it starts moving forward, it does feel like it's just, once it starts moving forward, you've done it for so long that it's just, you're used to the effort you've been putting in, and it seems like it's pretty much on a stable track to continually improve. But you're going to have to keep putting in the same effort, but you're, at this point, I feel like it's old hat, and you're used to it. You should be okay. All right, I think that's good. All right, that's 2. Let's put this one. I think that one was pretty good. That one went out a lot easier than I expected. There's a little bit of a, I don't want to say a panic energy, but there's a strong current with it. Kind of like, you know, the need to correct something, or the need to fix something, to want something to go faster. It doesn't seem like it's really a viable option at this point, but I feel that energy with that. All right, let's go into the next one. The Hematite Heart. Try to get that somewhere in the center-ish. So hematite is a grounding stone. The last one was rainbow hematite, but this one is just hematite all by itself. Grounding stone, help you get perspective, help you to, you know, ground your thoughts, get a stable viewpoint, you know, bring yourself down to earth in a sense. You know, keep one foot on earth, in earth, you know what I mean? On earth, whatever. I don't want to do this. Okay, so we got stop, go away. This is them. This is you. Air. No, I think it's you we're going in. And I feel like this is where it's coming. Okay. Okay, this is where it's going to end up. Are we in frame? Let's try to get in frame as much as we can here. There. So your energy coming in, you got purple, which says develop mental clarity. Yep. Develop mental clarity. I can go with that. That's fine. I actually feel like the situation, when you're coming towards this situation, you have some worries about it, and you're kind of looking, I feel like what you're looking at, you're like, we need to do something now, because things are, I don't know, things are not looking the best. Not that they're looking horrible, but you're kind of like, we need to do something here. We need to make something happen. Things will have a better chance of going well if we step in and do something now, especially if I move forward and get somebody else to help me. But if I kind of let this be, it just feels like there could be like a drop-off to the situation, and it could go in a negative way pretty quickly. So I feel like you have like this urge to move forward because you're like, it's not too bad right now. And I don't think it has to get bad as long as we move on it and take care of the situation. The situation needs to be taken care of. It's almost like you have an elderly person and you're like, all right, they're kind of doing things they shouldn't be doing. They're not taking care of themselves the way they should. So you're thinking, if I step in now and get this taken care of now, maybe we could put this back on track. If we could just, you know, fix a couple things, this won't have to be a big deal or as big a deal as it looks like it's going to be. And maybe we could put it back on track. Okay, good. So you have good energy coming in, but you have the Queen of Wands that you don't get caught up in the gender, but this is an urge to do something. Something needs to get done. Okay. So you're going towards, and this is the other side. You're noticing the Tower card there, which, it's very rare that that's a fun card. I've seen it come through as a fun card, but I'm not seeing it at this point being fun anyway. Down the road, it might be more fun. But when it's coming in right now, I feel like you're actually stepping in and calling somebody out, or possibly forcing somebody to make a decision, forcing somebody to change what they're doing. And the reason it's kind of a force attitude is kind of like, listen, you're heading towards a brick wall. Put the brakes on. Put the brakes on, veer over to the left, veer over to the right, something. But you're heading towards a brick wall, and you're coming forward with that energy. Like, listen, you're heading towards a brick wall. Either slow down, actually stop, or go veer to the left, veer to the right. Whatever seems like it's going to stop the impact, you're kind of like, we need to do this now. You're heading too fast towards this brick wall. It needs to stop now. And your energy's coming at this person that way. The Tower on the other side is showing me that this other person is quite upset. It's either one of two things. They don't see what you're talking about, or they don't want to. And I feel like you were just like, no, this is happening. So I need to impress upon you what is happening and what you're doing and where we're going. You need to step away from what you're doing and stop or change direction, something. This is not going to work. So you are upsetting this person, but it's necessary. Like, sometimes you got to break a couple eggs, because if you don't break these eggs, they're going to break their face on the wall, is what I'm getting. So you're like, listen, all right, enough, stop, or veer one way or the other, preferably stop, quite frankly. And what I'm getting here, you're shaking this person up. You are shaking this person up, and you're literally kind of shaking them like, hey, what are you doing? No, this is going to be bad. You're heading towards something really bad. Wake up. The Tower on their side is like, you are shocking them. It's not fun for them, but it is happening. So when this happens, I'm getting this, it feels like I know it's the Queen of Wands, and you're actively going towards this, you're actively getting involved, you're actively going towards this person, but I'm feeling like harsh communication coming out of this, and it's just, you're shaking this person up. You're like, listen, I don't know how long you would have to stay in the hospital if you go face first into that wall, but I don't know what I can do for you once you do that. And you might have a really rough time for a couple years, and who knows, you might have permanent damage if you don't stop. And I feel like you're impressing on this really strong, like, hey, I'm warning you. I'm not saying I'm going to do this. I'm saying you're going to do this to yourself. Stop. So you got the Hematite Heart coming in with the stop, go away. You do seem to get this person to stop what they're doing. Now, the catch-22 of this one is, for this moment here, I do see you are successfully getting them to stop. But is it a stop that's going to change direction, or is this a temporary moment and they're going to, get back up to speed and keep going the same direction? The Hematite Heart is telling me they really understand that you mean this, that you feel this, that you believe this. They understand your sincerity, and you're grounding them in that sense. You're like bringing them back to reality, but they understand you do mean it. You're heartfelt. You know what I mean? You're not just saying this to be mean. You're not saying this because you're bored and you just want to like mess with somebody. You're saying this because this is what's happening and it needs to be said, and you care about them. Especially with this heart over here. I know that's stereotypical for the heart symbol, but not for nothing. They feel the love. They know you love them. They trust that. They trust that you're coming from a good place. They're trusting your intention. Now, them believing that this is actually what's going to happen, and them believing they're really heading for a wall, that's a little bit more dicey. But them believing that you mean what you say and you're heartfelt saying it, they do believe that. So that's a step forward. That gets them to at least to stop for a second. Why they actually, a bigger piece why they stop is because they want you to go away. They want you to leave them alone. They didn't like this moment. So they're kind of like, all right, if I just stop, this person will leave me alone, aka you. You leave them alone. They're like, all right, I'll just stop, and then they'll leave me alone, and I'll be fine. So at this point, they're not committed to letting it go or stopping permanently, but they're stopping because, one, they want you to leave them alone, and two, they know that you mean what you say. You mean it. If they agree is another thing, but they know that you mean it. So that's the first step. All right. At least it's something for this point. The next spot. Now we have some good coin. You have some good cards. But I'm getting the yawns here a lot, which is usually a sign that there's negative energy here. And I feel double dealing. I feel double dealing here, and I don't like it. But the truth here I'm feeling with the peach especially the peach. Because, you know, you ever hear that saying something about life's a peach, especially when you get especially when it's the pits or something like that. Like, I'm seeing that peach pit there, and it's making me feel like there's a lot of good, there's a lot of beautiful fruit, a lot of tasty fruit. And I see peaches as a delicious fruit, quite frankly. I like peaches. So, I mean, the pit, like, the pit's not fun, but the peach is very good. Now, what I'm seeing here from this is, like, I feel like they're trying to get along with you. They're trying to get you off their back. They seem to be benefiting from, like, relenting. Like, they're relenting to you. And I do feel like they're changing what they're doing, but part of me feels like they're not totally changing. It's almost like they're still heading in the same direction. They've just tried to make it a little bit more covert, and they've tried to, like, it's almost like instead of taking a straight line where they were going before, they're kind of going over this way and over on this way and over on this way and over on this way. Like, they're just trying to wind in slowly, but they're still heading towards that wall is what I'm getting. They're just doing it differently, which I feel like if you see it on your side, the perspective might be, well, I guess the way they're doing it, maybe they'll get the hint before they actually get to that wall, and they'll see why that's such a dangerous thing. But I do see them trying to finagle around you, but still kind of going the same direction. That's what I'm getting with this peach. Like, they just want to get along, but they still want to get what they want at the same time. The pit makes me really feel like they're still going the same direction. It's just they're doing it more covertly. They're trying to be more diplomatic. They're just, instead of taking that straight line, they're going in and out, back and forth, and getting closer and closer to that wall. Now, the thing is, this affords you enough time to do something, because you got the page of coins. And because it's like the way I'm doing this here is, like, sometimes it goes back, sometimes it goes forward, you know. And I feel like you get them to retract every now and then, but this is going to be one of those situations, I feel, that you're going to have to keep an eye on it. You have to be careful what you say, mostly because being direct just gets this person to try to avoid you, and that's not working. So you have to be a little bit more ginger about how you step in the situation to be effective, because you're just kind of like, and somebody said this to me years ago, it's one thing to be right, and it's another thing to be effective. You know what I mean? If you're right and you're spitting at somebody everything that you're right about, and you're truly right, but if they ignore you or do something contrary to that, and you're not effective, it's just wasted breath. But if you want to be right but if you want to be effective, you got to be careful what you say and how you say it, and you might have to say things in pieces. You might have to be a little bit more diplomatic about getting this to work out. Because I'm getting that page of coins is like, you're not directly going at this in the future. You seem to be keeping an eye on the situation and trying to kind of like just edge it this way a little bit, edge it this way a little bit. You're just trying to direct it. I do see like this is a constant battle. It just seems like the other side is just telling you what you want to hear and trying to make it look good. I do think you're going to see it for what it is, and you're just going to try to work with it, because it's kind of like, as long as this energy is kind of moving forward in one way or another, and you can kind of direct it one way or another, you have a better chance of actually turning it around at some point, because I feel like you constantly have to block here and there, and they just try to work around you constantly. It just feels like a pain in the butt situation. I don't see a resolution, quite frankly, but I feel like it makes the situation better for you. Instead of, you know, a major catastrophe coming forward, I just feel like you're constantly battling to keep that catastrophe from happening. I mean, that's the answer, and I get that. I think I just want a better answer than what I'm getting. Because I'm thinking of, like, if I was on the other side of this camera and I was getting, or, you know, watching this reading, I'd be like, I would want a better, like, you know, resolution, how to fix this, how to get around it, all that other good stuff. But, you know, sometimes that's just not there. So that's the answer for that one. It just seems like it's going to be a constant, you know, battle. It's just easier to do it down the road, because at least it's not heading towards a rough moment like it was, but you have to constantly keep on it to keep it from ending up there at some point later. So there's that. The next one, orange calcite. I love this giant stone. I love it, love it, love it, love it. This is about emotional balance, happiness, and you know, orange is the sacral chakra. So this is sometimes, you know, the need to balance that, or the need to have that energy go a little bit more fluid, to bring more of that energy into your life, like the home and stuff like that. You know, for some reason it makes me feel of Cancer. Not that they're the only ones who, you know, really care about their home. Clearly there's other signs who do very much, but I'm having that feel here, like looking out for people at home, looking out for family, you know what I mean, making sure things are taken care of, you know, connecting in that sense. I don't know why, but I'm really feeling that. All right, now I'm going to put that Jagunda stone down here, and hopefully it won't be in the way. Now, what do we got here for you? I feel like this is them. And I feel like this is all, we got burgundy there. And this is seeming to like eclipse this a little bit, which we'll find out what that's about after. So do we have these all in frame for the most part? I think we do. We're going to try to do this anyway. I'm going to try to move this out of the way so it's not blocking your view of the cards. There we go. So they're coming in. They got the Nine of Cups reversed. That makes me feel like overindulgence. It makes me feel like there's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of good things going on. I'm also getting burgundy, like, you know, it is literally got alcohol on that. Isn't burgundy an alcohol? I don't drink, so I'm guessing that is. It sounds to me like it is. I want to say it is. But when these are both upside down, somebody's enjoying a little bit too much. It doesn't have to be actually alcohol, but I'm feeling like it's kind of tainting them a bit. And they're kind of getting lost in whatever they're overindulging in. And then they got this. The message that came in with them is why not, and then wait it out. It's like, why not? First of all, why not overindulge? It's kind of their attitude. And then wait it out. Just like things will change, things will be fine. I'm just going to overindulge. Whether it be eating, it could be alcohol, just to be fair. Could be, like I'm getting a sports feel for some people. Like overindulging in that sense is like being reckless, not being safe, taking risks that aren't necessary. Sometimes it's like, you know, people who go all day doing a job and then, you know, it's the wee hours of the night or it's later and they're really tired, but they want to enjoy something like, I don't know, snowmobiling, ice skating, basketball. It could be any sport, to be fair, but their body is not up for it and they're too tired to really do it safely. And they're kind of jeopardizing themselves. They're jeopardizing their health because they're just not on point. You know what I mean? Burning the candle at both ends. Kind of like, I did the work, now I want to have the fun. But they're so tired that like their body's like, you're going to pay for this. You're going to pay for this. That's kind of the overindulging feel too. When your body's not up to it, but you're forcing yourself to do something. Sometimes it's going out after work and it's taking too much time to, like, I've heard of this happening, and I know this is an alcohol thing, but people going out to the bar or something after work. And say they get out of work like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and they don't leave the bar till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then they get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the next morning, and they go through it all again. That's another, like, overindulging, you know, burning the candle at both ends. It's your body can't take it. So there's a negative energy here, like it's overindulgence, like not taking care of themselves correctly. I'm getting you probably see this for what it really is. I don't really need to beat it any further to death. Because I'm seeing the Seven of Wands, and I'm seeing you coming towards this person saying, listen, listen, you got to stop it. This is, you're burning it, your body can't take this, this is irrational, this is going to leave you in a problem, like you're going to head for an accident. Even if there's not alcohol involved, if somebody is, you know, working all day and then playing hard after work, afterwards when they're driving home, they still could have that intoxicated moment, even though they're not intoxicated by alcohol. Being overly drowsy or having a hard time concentrating could still have the same effect of a, you know, a head-on collision or an accident and stuff like that. You still could get that outcome. And I feel like that's what you're saying to this person. If this is connecting with you, you're like, listen, you can't keep doing this. This is bad. You're abusing your body. You're going to have some type of collapse, or you're going to end up having some type of accident because this is not good. Whatever they're doing, you know what it is. And you're coming towards them saying, knock it off. You're going to have major problems for this. I'm giving you a warning. I want you to stop. You need to back off. And I feel the energy coming back is like, oh, sure, yeah, I'll stop. Sure. Yeah, no, I won't do that ever again in my whole life. Why not wait it out? Like, I feel like they're just going to say what they need to say to you to just get you off their back, and they're going to continue doing what they've been doing. I feel like that's the hardest one. If you chose this one, I feel like you have a very heartfelt home feeling here. Like, this person means a lot to you. You do not want anything bad to happen to this person, but the warning is they're just telling you what they feel they need to tell you to get you off their back. And I don't see them really having any intention of changing their behavior. I do see this very greatly stressing you, and this is where the outcome, this is what it seems to be it's heading towards. You get the Five of Swords, which is, in this deck they use it as an argument card. They're using it as conflict. The Five of Swords usually is like a fruitless win in most decks for me. And they got the lemon here. The lemon is upside down, which I know it says access innovative thinking right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm kind of getting like a squirt of lemon in the eye is kind of how it feels. Like you're not happy. And what I'm getting here, I'm actually getting both. I'm getting a double message with the Five of Swords. I do feel the picture makes sense. I do feel like this is coming forward again. This person seems like they're heading towards a near miss. So this is one of those things where if they're doing too much and they're running their body down, whatever, for whatever reason, they do end up in a small accident. Now, to me, a small accident is kind of like they go off the road and they break their front tire, or they bend the rim so they can't drive the car, or they have to have it towed so it can be fixed. There's no major catastrophe, but there's enough to where you're like, listen, you're lucky that's all it was. And I feel your energy, that's why I feel this squirt of lemon in your eye. Like, you're ticked. You're like, listen, you're lucky that's all that was. Because you could have been dead. And I don't want you dead. I care about you. I want you in my life. Don't do this. And I'm seeing you argue with this person. But I'm getting that Five of Swords in the traditional sense along with this picture. Kind of like you're arguing with them, but it's getting you nowhere. And I'm seeing you very upset about this. I'm seeing you tell your truth, like, this is not right. Like, you're lucky that's all it was. And I feel you pushing that towards this person. I just don't feel you having an effect. They're just closing you out. They're doing what they think they want to do. They're like, oh, everything happens once in a while. Oh, these things happen. They don't seem to want to grasp the severity of the situation. Like, they're very lucky is what I'm getting. They're very fortunate, but they seem to think that, they're invincible is kind of the feel I'm getting here. They don't want to worry about it. They're not gonna. They argue. I do feel like they will argue with you, but I see you getting nowhere. I see nothing changing. This, like the Hematite Heart one I did just before it, this is how this is ending. I would like a better answer for that. I'd like to find a way to resolve this, but I feel like you're very good at making your point. You're making a very sensible argument. They just are not willing to hear you. And I feel like they're trying to say this is not on you what happens next. And you're doing everything you possibly can. There's no reason for you to have any guilt. If something bad comes after this, there's no reason for you to have guilt. I also see the people who really connect to this being like, well, I don't care about the guilt. I just don't want anything to happen to the person I love. That's all. I don't care about the guilt. I care about this person, and I don't want this to happen to them. I definitely connect to that. But I feel like it's completely out of your control. I just feel like it's completely out of your control. I feel like anything that can be done, anything that can be said, you've said, you will say, especially here. I feel like you're going to like really let it rip right here. If you could have an effect on this person and change this person's direction, you would have it. It would happen, but they're not allowing it. I don't know how much, I don't really know if that's really going to make you feel better, but at least give you a perspective, kind of like you're doing everything you could to stop this person from heading towards wherever they're heading for. I'm not getting a brick wall feeling, to be fair, but I do feel like life is going to get a little rough. Some of them are going to get pretty sick, like bronchitis or like pneumonia. I feel like there's a couple of them, like you're going to see this coming forward. Like they're going to have this near miss, and then soon after that, they're going to get knocked down with like pneumonia or bronchitis, which is going to really take them out of the loop for a while and really set them back for a while, which may give your heart a break from worrying about them for a little bit, sort of, because you're like, well, I guess if they have bronchitis, at least I know they're not out there risking their lives driving around half awake. So I guess that's at least a little better. It's really not my optimal outcome, but it's something better. So I do feel like this person is heading for at least, some type of sickness that will take them out of the game for a while. I don't know. Maybe other people can help you convince them to knock it off. I don't know. It doesn't feel very likely, but you got this out here. All right. I hope that helps. I think I'm just trying to find a better answer because I can relate to that. I can see like wanting that to be better than what I'm seeing, but they're saying, you know what? Everybody has free will, and if they just choose, if they flat out choose not to listen, to not hear you, to not want to believe you, that's kind of the rub with free will. They don't have to. If they don't want to, they don't have to. Not that it's right, but you know. All right, the last one we got, green calcite, which is, I think of it a lot lately, especially as focusing a little closer, getting a little, you know, sharpening your mind and what you really think and seeing the facts and what you really think is here. Acting in a way that you're confident with and you feel is the right direction by like really seeing the facts for what the facts really are. Okay, but it's very much like people use this as a study stone. Like when you have to remember something for how it really matters, like if you're doing definitions of words and you have to remember 78 definitions of different, you know, 78 words and their definitions, like this would like not only keep those and keep them in order, but help you keep them together and what they actually mean. All right. Is there something I'm missing with that? Because I feel like I'm beating that so to death. $13. These, I feel like these are both on that side. Okay. We got watermelon, and can you see? You cannot, so we'll move these over. Let's see, can you see that now? There we go. And we got this, and we got that. Okay. So, what are we dealing with here? They got brown, and they got the Six of Cups reversed. So whoever you're dealing with, they're negating emotional connections, is what I'm getting. And the Six of Cups is usually a history card, you know, past influences, things like that. When I'm feeling it reversed and with the brown here, and I know brown, it says establish boundaries, but what I feel like is they're not willing to look at where things have been. They're not really, it's not even like where they've been, but the people who are connected to them, they're not honoring connections with other people that mean a lot to them. They're just not connecting in that sense. Like somebody who could have been around for them many times over, somebody who always looks out for them, somebody that they know how they feel. It could be even somebody who treats them bad, and every now and then they just do these certain things. They're just not willing to look at it that way. They don't want to look at the history of an emotional connection with somebody else. Now, when it comes towards you, like that's also coming towards you. Like I feel like you have a history with this person, but this person is not willing to consider that. They're just kind of going forward like that's not a factor here. It is a factor, but they're not willing to use it. They're not willing to address it or come to terms with that. Now, I feel like it's a little bit of a bitter energy here. I do feel like a bitter feeling here. I'm not feeling a very positive energy with the brown reversed. And I'm seeing this as more smug than anything because I feel like what's going on with this person is like they're not connecting with you like they should be. And I feel like there's more of a history. There's more of a connection here. Like, I feel like this person is somebody you've had to deal with for quite a while, but they really seem to be negating out that emotional connection. And they're not like, I just feel like they're not connecting with you at all. And I think I'm trying to find a nicer way to put it, but I feel a very disconnected, a very emotionally vacant is best I can say. Here's what I'm actually trying to walk around because I don't really like this idea, but this is what I'm feeling here. I'm feeling like it's almost like somebody's on drugs and this is changing their attitude and they can't seem to get there to realize how much you mean to them and how much you actually do care about them, and they're just not connecting. It's a very bitter feel to me. It's a very emotionally vacant, though. Bitter, but emotionally vacant. And I'm seeing the world here on your side. And I'm seeing you kind of like seeing it for what it is. You're not liking it. I don't see you liking it. The World card can be a good or it can be a bad thing. I just personally don't feel like it's always a good thing. I feel like the cards around it very much color this. And I feel like what they're saying is you're seeing it for what it is, and you're not liking the attitude that's coming from this person. I just feel like you'd like to... One of the reasons you might be actually coming to this reading is kind of because you'd like to believe better. But I think what you see is what you get. For some reason, I don't know what it is, they're emotionally just detached. I feel a bitter energy. If this is connecting, that should be quite apparent. And I feel like there's a cat attacking me. Sorry about that. I want this to be better than it is. I don't like how it feels. I just feel like this is a negative connection. I just feel this person doesn't seem to care. They just literally don't care. It's very bitter. It feels like a nasty energy to me. Now, the world on your side tells me that I feel like you're going to make up your mind what you're going to do with this energy. The world is the end of a phase, moving on, you know, end of an era type feel. How this person is treating you, even if they're going to physically be in your life after this, emotionally, I feel like you're checking out due to the way you're being treated. Because you're not feeling an emotional connection. You don't feel like this person cares about how things affect you. You care about them. They seem to be completely vacant. There's a little bit of a bitter feel here. This says more smug than anything. So the more smug than anything, when I'm seeing it here, and it's lining up, I'm noticing with the green calcite. The more, like, when people are smug, I feel like they're very insecure. I feel like when people are smug, that's what the reason is. Like, a smug attitude is because somebody's insecure, and they're just trying to be nasty to push off even their own emotions from themselves. Like, a smug attitude is not only because they're trying to block you from how they feel, but they're trying to block themselves from how they really feel. And I feel that this person is trying to kind of, like, stay away from how they actually feel. They don't want to look at the situation. So a smug attitude seems to be coming forward. Just kind of a little snotty attitude, just kind of like a holier than thou, you know, I'm better than you anyway, I don't really care what you feel attitude. That type of smug feel is what I'm getting here. It's just it's just rotten, honestly, it's just rotten. And what I'm getting here is this goes forward, you get the world here, and then you get the death card coming out next with the watermelon reversed. I'm feeling more of that smug attitude, like this person's like, well, you know what, I really don't care what you do. I feel like that's their attitude, kind of like, I don't really care what you do. You go do what you gotta do, and I really don't give a crap. And I'm seeing, like, between the two of you, this is redefining this relationship. No matter how long this person has been in your life, due to the way this person is treating you and having this holier-than-thou attitude, I do see that you're kind of... Sorry. Thought a cat was going to attack me again. I just see you're disconnecting. I feel like it's due to the attitude of how things are going that you're not willing to put up with it anymore, is kind of what I'm seeing with the death card. Because not only are they not treating you well here, but then they're just kind of almost like they're gloating about it with the watermelon reversed is kind of how I'm feeling. And it's kind of like, you know what, last straw. I'm not putting up with this. I'm not going to put myself out there just so I can be your punching bag or be made fun of when I actually do care about you. Even if they're in your life after this physically, emotionally you're done, is what I'm getting. They're there, that's great. The hardest example of this that I can see from this situation is like if it's a family member. Like, it's one of those situations where even going forward, you still may be connected, but what I'm getting is you're, it's kind of like, here's a plate of food, go eat it in the corner. I don't want to look at you or talk to you. I'll look out for you to that extent, but otherwise I don't want anything to do with you, because I feel like that's what happens from here going forward, because I feel you're completely annoyed with it. I feel you just kind of ready to disconnect. Well, I shouldn't say ready to disconnect. I feel you completely disconnected. Like I said, even if it's a family member, you'll send them some clothes, you'll send them some food, but you don't want to deal with them other than that, because you've had it with this smug attitude, this almost like you're being made fun of for caring about them. They just kind of throw it in your face. You're like, you know what, fine, I'm done. Again, if it's a family member, here's a plate of food, go eat it in the corner, because I don't even want to look at you. You need clothes, here's some clothes, but I'm not staying by to, talk with you or see what your life is doing, because I really don't care either. I just have this family obligation to make sure, you're going to make it through the night. Other than that, good luck. Because I see that you're going to be very upset with this, because it gets to that point where they're so smug and they're so snide. Even the word snide comes in, that you're just kind of like, you know what, fine, have a good time. Have a good time with that. That one was a hard one. I feel like that's the hardest one of all these, because I feel like this one's really insulting. I feel like this one just really, it takes a lot. And I feel like if you're the person watching this, I feel like you probably more than likely have a big heart. It takes a lot to get you here. So it's just kind of like, it truly is, and it's their loss, because they're treating you badly, and they're losing an ally that really could help them out in a hard time. If they just treated you better and honored the relationship a bit more, it would be very much worth their while, but they're not seeing it that way. So it truly is their loss. I don't know if that's going to really make you feel better, if this is connecting with you, but that's what I'm getting from it. All right. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.